Why do we not have peace? Because we do not teach peace, says Coleman McCarthy. Since 1982, this journalist and educator has taught peace courses to more than 6,000 students in high schools, colleges, universities, and prisons. Based on his classroom experience, McCarthy is convinced that peacemaking is indeed a skill that can be taught and that students are eager to learn. Coleman McCarthy was born in 1938 in Old Brookville, New York. He first learned of nonviolence from his father, a country lawyer and World War I veteran. He was very much opposed to war, but didn't preach it, McCarthy recalled. Nonviolence incubated in the back of McCarthy's mind while he finished high school and entered Spring Hill College in Mobile, Alabama. The relaxed English major quipped, "There are 18 reasons I went to Spring Hill College. They had a wonderful golf course. I was pretty much a golf bum in school. I read more greens than I read books." After graduation on McCarthy's trip back to New York, he stumbled upon a Trappist monastery in Georgia that piqued his interest. He decided to stay for a while, and 1 week turned into 5 years. McCarthy did not join the order, but he worked as a laborer, rising at 2 each morning to milk cows, shovel manure, and work the fields. He devoted his spare time to reading hundreds of books, including those by many peacemakers, and writing extensively in his journal. Ready to make his passion his profession, McCarthy bid the monks farewell and set out as a freelance writer. In one of his first articles, McCarthy criticized the director of the Peace Corps, at the time Sergeant Shriver. Instead of getting angry, Shriver invited McCarthy to join his speechwriting staff in Washington, D.C. There, McCarthy met a fellow staff member named Maverine Deegan. Smitten, McCarthy proposed marriage the next day, but she convinced him they should wait at least a month. The following month, they did get married and later had 3 sons. In time, McCarthy became a respected and award-winning columnist for the Washington Post, contributing 2 columns per week to his newspaper's editorial page. McCarthy saw great meaning in his job, saying, "I am a journalist for one reason, to use whatever skills I have to ease suffering in the world." Tackling war, military spending, the death penalty, and other controversial issues, McCarthy consistently took a nonviolent stance, often bringing intense reactions from readers. McCarthy joked, "I get a stack of mail this high from people who call me ignorant, and then I read my negative email." A common reaction, McCarthy explained, was, "Everybody's always, yeah, what if someone breaks into your house with a gun and wants to shoot your family? What do you do then?" So you can create scenarios where nonviolence clearly probably won't work. But meanwhile, there are 40,000 people a month who are dying in wars around the world. And rarely is this ethic questioned. So I question it. Eventually, McCarthy's column became syndicated, and by 1981 was appearing in 73 newspapers. The next year, McCarthy's career took on a new dimension. After speaking at his son's high school, McCarthy was invited to teach a course on writing. He replied, "I'd rather teach peace." The school officials agreed, and McCarthy began teaching the course one afternoon a week as a volunteer teacher. When asked why he wanted to teach peace, he responded, "Why are we violent but not illiterate? Because we are taught to read. Unless we teach our children peace, someone else will teach them violence." Focusing on nonviolent leaders and their philosophies, the course became a popular repeat offering, prompting McCarthy to introduce it at another high school as well. Why did the students take the class? Reasons ranged from wanting to develop communication skills to wanting to address grave concerns about humankind. One student shared, "I am taking this course because I am ashamed of humanity. We seem to be focused on the sole purpose of killing and destroying all that is great and beautiful, including ourselves. I hope that I can become a better person and make a difference in the world." Although the course was popular among students, McCarthy faced objections from some teachers who suggested, as we currently hear now, that he offer what they call balance in his courses, that he educates students in the other side of the peace argument. McCarthy responded, "Students come into my classes already well educated, often overeducated in the ethic of violence. The educators, the nation's long-term cultural faculty, political leaders who fund wars and send young to fight them, judges and juries who dispatch people to death row, filmmakers who script gunplay movies and cartoons, toy manufacturers marketing action games, parents in war zones, homes where verbal or physical abuse is common, high school history texts that tell about Calamity Jane, but not Jane Addams, Daniel Boone, but not Daniel Berrigan. I can't in conscience teach the other side. Students have already been saturated with it." Soon, educators began seeking McCarthy's advice on how to start similar courses, so he and his wife converted a room in their home into the Center for Teaching Peace, a nonprofit organization that helps schools implement peace study programs. Meanwhile, McCarthy continued writing his award-winning column until 1997, when it was canceled due to declining syndication. While to many this would be a monumental setback in one's life's plan, to McCarthy it was an opportunity to dedicate himself fully to peace education. Shortly thereafter, McCarthy created 2 textbooks, Solutions to Violence and Strength Through Peace, trained additional volunteers to lead nonviolence courses, and continued teaching peace. McCarthy's teaching methods are unconventional. On the first day of class, he captures the student attention by holding up a $100 bill and offering it to anyone who I can identify a short list of people. When he names famous generals or war heroes, students shout out the answers. But when he names peace heroes, the room goes silent. No one has ever won the money. Believing in desire-based, not fear-based learning, McCarthy does not give tests or grades. However, for many students, his is the most demanding course that they have ever taken because it shakes the foundations of their worldview. Additionally, through atypical field trips, the course puts students face-to-face with people who challenge their stereotypes, including homeless individuals and condemned prisoners on death row. Furthermore, in McCarthy's classroom, one thing is strictly forbidden: questions. Don't ask questions. Question the answers. What answers? The ones that say the answer is violence. Disarmingly warm-hearted, the personable teacher engages even the most difficult students, reaching out to them and being generally interested in their opinions. McCarthy asked students to thoroughly consider, not necessarily accept, the ideas presented in the course, stating, I'm in the information, not the conversion business. In fact, McCarthy takes more joy in one student vigorously arguing with him than a roomful of pupils absent-mindedly agreeing with him. McCarthy recalls some students saying, but in the real world, nonviolence won't work and hasn't worked. Look what happened, they say, to Jesus, to Gandhi, King, and a lot of other pacifists. He responds, I answer the only honest reply available. Nonviolence is a risky philosophy to live by. It is no guarantee of safety. All that can be said of it, it is less a failure than violence. Frequently, students ask McCarthy what he believes should have been done about Adolf Hitler. McCarthy responds, organize in 1926, when he first ran for office. You can't stop him in 1940 when he has the guns out. You have to put the fire out in its little lick of flame. It's easy to go back and make that judgment, but Hitlerism is still out there, so we've got to do something now to prevent governments from solving conflicts through killing people. That's what Gandhi said. Don't agonize over what's happened. Organize over what will be happening. After the 1999 shooting at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado, McCarthy was saddened by society's general response to such tragedies. He stated, when school shootings occur and the inevitable call goes out to do something, dollars are spent on metal detectors, hallway police, ID badges for kids, not textbooks or nonviolence or salaries for potential peace studies teachers. Fortunately, this was not the case everywhere, as 2 high schools, 3 universities, University of Maryland, American University, and Georgetown University Law School, and a Maryland prison had been offering McCarthy's courses in peace since the mid-1990s. At the prison, inmates often reflected that if they had studied nonviolence earlier in their lives, they probably would not have ended up in jail. Encouragingly, by 2003, more than 70 U.S. colleges and universities were offering degrees in peace studies, up from just 1 in 1970. Oftentimes, when a person recalls their school years, one teacher or professor stands out as having an especially positive impact on them. As McCarthy discovered in letters written to him from many of his students, he is that special teacher. Clearly, McCarthy's students have learned much from him. But what has he learned from them? His answer, I have learned 2 realities from having taught some 6,000 students. First, nonviolence is teachable. And second, the young are hungry to learn the skills. His classes normally conclude, you've got homework tonight. Go tell somebody you love them. I know that sounds ridiculously small, almost inconsequential, given the magnitude of the problems going on. But there are so many unloved people out there, and if you could say a kind word to them, it would be a big step forward. He was not talking about season's greetings, but everyday recognition that peace comes from love. McCarthy adds, and lest I happen to forget while celebrating the birth of Christ, remember, Jesus was a victim of capital punishment too. We will now see a few of Coleman McCarthy's more famous quotes, followed by a song.
We are